Ah, the warm glow of a winter sun on my orange jacket. Good morning. It's about 10 minutes before sunrise. I made it up here into Grand Teton National Park for a beautiful sunrise. And a no camping sign with a little camera doing a time lapse as well. But that beautiful sunrise may or may not happen. The setup over here is perfect. I've got some great clouds over the Tetons. I got a nice composition here with some trees in the foreground and a little kind of curvy hill over there. But I've got that one cloud right over the top of the Grand and then clouds behind it that would get dark, so that if that front cloud would light up, it would be really dramatic. But back that way, to the east where the sun's supposed to rise, it's a little bit too cloudy over there, I'm afraid. We'll see. Normally this stuff above me would get kind of pink and start to light up by now, but it hasn't yet. So I'm not sure if the light's going to be able to sneak its way through whatever clouds are over there to the east, but I'm going to make sure I get set up and ready, because sometimes that light will just sneak through there for a few seconds even. So I want to be set up and on the tripod with all my settings ready to go, and so I can make that photo even if I only have just a few seconds to make it. So backup plan will be to go back the way I came. There were some moose that were visible out there, a bunch of bull moose hanging out together, and a few of them still have their antlers. It's late January, and most of the bulls have lost their antlers by now, but a few of them still have antlers, so I'd rather photograph the ones that do have antlers. They're just kind of grazing in the sagebrush, but they'll have the Tetons behind them as well, which could be really nice. So that's kind of backup plan. And then, of course, I'll be looking for wolves out here, too. They could kind of appear and disappear anytime. But I'm just going to cross my fingers here and hope for some sunrise light. And anyway, I'm going to get that set up so I don't miss it if the light does show up. All right, I'm all set up. It is 7:45. Sunrise is for 7:46. I do see a tiny bit of light sneaking through over there, lighting up a couple of the clouds back to the east. But we're clearly not getting the light here that we would normally be getting 1 minute before sunrise. It's 2 degrees out, and overall just pretty lovely. But the light isn't cooperating yet. It just might take a little time, or it might not happen at all. But I think eventually some light's going to come through here, so I'm going to be patient and hang out here for a while. All right, settings-wise, I'm shooting at f5.6, ISO 64 +1 on exposure compensation in aperture priority, and exposure delay mode on the tripod. Pretty simple. I'm also shooting in daylight white balance here. I can adjust that later in Lightroom, of course, but for now that daylight gives me a really nice blue color out here, because it is very blue in this pre-dawn light, and the snow, and it's being cold, and I kind of want that blue cold feeling out here. And then when light comes and hits the mountains, that light will be nice and warm, and it'll be a really nice contrast between the kind of the blue of the sky and the snow, and then the warmth of the light hitting the mountains, assuming that light actually does hit the mountains. I'm going to do a quick panoramic here. So the only thing I'm going to change right now is lock the exposure into place. Focus is locked because I use back button autofocus, and I'm set up level. My tripod and my camera and everything's level. I'm going to start at the left end of the range, make a photo, click, 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 click. I'll probably do 4 to get across there, and then I'll have a nice panoramic of the whole range. Okay, so I did it in 3 photos there. Lock exposure, lock focus, keep the camera level, bang, 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 done. Nice and easy. I can stitch those together in Lightroom. This cloud that's right over the top of the Tetons is just super sexy. It's moving pretty fast. I wish some light would sneak through and hit that thing and light it up. That would be fantastic. Because we've got a nice dark sky behind it, it would really stand out. The light made it! Hee hee! Alright, that light just turned fantastic. I'm going to shoot some infrared here too. I just did a beautiful pano of the whole range. I'm going to do the same thing now with infrared. That is lovely. Okay, well that turned out great actually. It took a little while for the light to get here after sunrise. But once it came with the power in that beautiful cloud over the mountain range. Really made the shot this morning. Once that thing lit up, the cloud stayed dark behind it. It was lovely. Now the light's starting to hit the valley floor a little bit. I'm going to move on. I'm going to go back to those moose and see if they're still awake. If they're still standing up, I might be able to make some photographs of them. And with this mountain range behind them, that could be beautiful, or whatever they decide to do. I don't know. We'll see when I get there, but I'm going to head that direction now. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this camera off the tripod. I'm going to get it back set up for more kind of run and gun kind of shooting instead of being on the tripod here. So I'm going to have it set up for if I find those moose. I'm going to turn the vibration reduction back on the lens. I'm going to turn off the exposure delay, and then I'll probably put my ISO up to like 200 instead of down at 64, so I get a little faster shutter speed in case those moose are moving around. So I want to be set up and ready for those, and that should be it. Off we go. Driving down the road here, and on the road there was a raven eating a duck. It's kind of odd, so I'm going to go check it out. All right, dead duck. There was a raven eating that duck when I drove up. The raven flew away. But that's weird. All right, back in the car after seeing the dead duck in the road. I thought about doing another full, complete crime scene investigation like I did on a video a little while ago. Does anybody remember that one? That was a serious investigation. This one, I blew it off. That was too much work, that last investigation. So I'm just going to leave it as dead duck in the road being eaten by a raven. That's it. Dead duck in the road, being eaten by a raven. End of story. So, I found another critter. There's a lone bison out here in the field. Kind of big, open meadow. It looks kind of pretty. I can't quite decide how I'm going to shoot it. I think I'm going to shoot it pretty wide and keep the bison very small in the frame here. To give it really that sense of isolation and loneliness out there in the snow. The light's super pretty right now. The sun kind of came out, just kind of being filtered through the clouds a little bit. And I think it has good potential here to be a decent image. I'm going to shoot it with the D850 and the 100 to 400 millimeter lens. So that'll give me a lot of flexibility in, how wide or how tight I'm going to shoot the bison. And I'm going to try it a few different ways. And then kind of check it out on the computer when I get home and see which one kind of looks best bigger. But for the moment, it's got its head down in the snow and just plowing through the snow, digging for food out there. And so it's like 5 minutes of that, and then it'll kind of sit up and look around and give me a pose, and then back in the snow. So I got to kind of sit here and wait, and then when it lifts its head and kind of poses, then I can rattle off a few frames, and then it gets back to digging in the snow and plowing around, moving the snow around so it can get down to some of the food underneath. So anyway, got a bison and a loner out here. So I'm going to see if I can make a decent photo of this bison. Right. Quick mention, I forgot my settings on this bison. I'm going to go a little bit positive on exposure compensation to keep the snow nice and bright white. So I'll probably go at +1 on exposure compensation, see how that looks. I'll shoot it at f8, ISO 100. There's tons of light out here, and that'll give me plenty of a shutter speed. So should be an easy shot. I think on this one, the composition is the hard part for me, trying to decide how to compose it. And how much of the big environment to include makes the bison small in the frame, which I think that's the one I'm going to want, is a small in the frame bison to kind of give it the feel of this lone bison out in this big, vast winter wilderness. Okay, that's it. All right, I'm out of here. I'm going to call it a day. It's warmed up to 5 degrees and it's still beautiful out. But thanks again for watching this episode. Got a little landscape and some wildlife, which is like my perfect scenario for every day. I'd love to do both landscapes and wildlife. Throw in a little abstract something or other in there, and that would be like the trifecta for me. I didn't shoot any abstract stuff today. Oh, actually, no, I did. I take that back. I mean, not super abstract-y, but I did shoot some, like, just kind of close-ups of some snow-covered trees that I think are going to be kind of decent. So I'll go out on a limb and call it a trifecta today. Got some big landscapes, some wildlife, and some abstract stuff, too. So a great day for me, and now I can go get on with the rest of my day. Hopefully it's great, too. time will tell. But anyway, thanks again for watching, and see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.